Prologue, Bloodroots. Location, the White Forest, the Bleeding Hollow. The White Forest was older than kings, older than gods. Its trees, pale as ghosts, whispered forgotten spells, and its roots drank deep from the lifeblood of those who dared trespass. The forest had no master, only guardians bound to its will. Evelyne had once been a woman, but the forest had changed her. Twisted her. Bound her to its ever-hungry roots. Her skin was laced with frost, her veins coursing with something colder than death. She had been its executioner, its warden. But now, after the cataclysm of Ilior's divine war, the balance shifted. The White Forest stirred with something darker. The last guardian felt the change deep within her marrow. The trees no longer whispered, they screamed. The roots clawed against her bones. And in the frozen silence, she heard a name. Ilior. The fireborn god had scarred the world. The White Forest would not forgive. And neither would Evelyne. Chapter 1, The Pact of Frost and Flesh. Location, the White Forest, the Heartwood Grove. Beneath the Heartwood, the living core of the forest, Evelyne knelt in the snow. Roots wrapped around her wrists like serpents, biting deep enough to draw blood. She had made this bargain centuries ago, her life for the forest's survival. But the whispers had turned to demands. The Heartwood pulsed, its bark shifting like sinew. More, it whispered. More. She clenched her jaw. Evelyne, voice trembling, I've given you enough. Let me die. The Heartwood, ancient, resounding death is a mercy. You are bound until the last root claims the sky. A howl pierced the silence. Intruders. Evelyne rose, frost spreading from her fingertips. Black Pearl Syndicate mercenaries, clad in dark leathers and frost-lined cloaks, stalked through her domain. They sought the forest's sacred wood, timber stronger than steel, infused with ancient power. But they carried something else. A relic. A shard of the First Pyre. The molten heart of Ilior's destruction. Evelyne's pulse quickened as the warmth touched her frozen soul. For the first time in centuries, she felt heat. And she felt fear. Chapter 2, The Syndicate's Hollow Crown. Location, Black Pearl Outpost, the Frozen Maw. The Syndicate's outpost was carved into a glacier, an iron fortress where ambition thrived in the cold. Evelyne moved like a shadow, her form wrapped in ivy and frost, slipping through the cracks of their defenses. She had expected smugglers. Thieves. She had not expected Sebastian Valcrest. The heir to the Syndicate's empire stood amidst the operation, holding the pyre shard between his fingers. His smirk was as sharp as a dagger. Sebastian, mocking a witch and a walking corpse. How poetic. Evelyne, icily, your fire cannot burn what is already dead. Sebastian, no. But it can burn your forest to ash. The duel was brutal. His flames licked at her skin, melting the frost in her veins. She struck with ice and shadow, but the pyre burned away her magic, searing a mark into her palm. She escaped, but the forest had already felt the pyre's taint. And it turned against her. Chapter 3, The Raven's Bargain. Location, Metropolis X, the Shattered Spire. Exiled from the forest, Evelyne had nowhere to turn, except to a woman who thrived on the cursed and the damned. Seraphina Vale. The Raven Queen of Metropolis X sat upon a throne of stolen magic, a collector of forbidden artifacts. Evelyne needed her help. Seraphina, twirling a dagger, you want freedom? It'll cost more than blood. Evelyne, lifting her burned palm, I have nothing left to lose. Seraphina, grinning perfect. Then let's make the Syndicate scream. The deal was struck. Together, they would sabotage a Syndicate airship carrying relics of the First Pyre. But deep in the ship's cargo hold, Evelyne found something she did not expect. A pyre-forged blade. The moment she touched it, visions seared through her mind, twisting roots, a world strangled by the forest's wrath, and a voice. Not the forest's. Not the pyre's. Ilior's. Break the cycle. Chapter 5, The Covenant of Ruin. Location, the bleak marches, the ruined cathedral. The ashes of the White Forest still cling to Evelyne's boots as she crosses the bleak marches, an expanse of frozen wasteland where the sky is in eternal twilight. Here, beneath the shattered spires of an ancient cathedral long abandoned by the gods, she meets Dane the Hollow, a fallen inquisitor turned occult scholar. He has seen the pyre scars upon her and knows what she has done. Dane offers her an alternative. Rather than let the pyre consume her, she can bind its fire within herself through a ritual older than the First War. But the cost is steep, she must relinquish the last vestiges of her humanity. Dialogue. Dane, examining her scars. The pyre has its claws in you, which you'll burn, piece by piece, until nothing remains but embers and regret. Eveline, coldly, I have no regrets. Dane, smirking, that's a lie. But I can show you how to survive. Dane's ritual requires an anchor, something from Evelyne's past, something untouched by the pyre's corruption. But Eveline has nothing left. No relic. No memory untainted. Only herself. And so, the ritual warps. Rather than binding the fire, she merges with it. The moment the incantation completes, the pyre awakens within her fully. It will no longer a whisper but a roar. She is no longer merely Eveline. She is something new. Chapter 6, The Blackened Throne. Location, Syndicate Warship Obsidian Wrath, over the Ashen Gulf. With her transformation complete, Eveline no longer flees the Syndicate, she hunts them. Their leaders, scattered and desperate, retreat to their strongest fortress, the Obsidian Wrath, a colossal warship reinforced with pyre-infused steel. Its captain, Lord Sebastian Valcrest, brother to Sebastian, believes he can control the flames Eveline now embodies. Eveline does not attack with stealth. She walks across the ocean, the water freezing beneath each step, leaving a bridge of ice in her wake. Syndicate sorcerers rain fire upon her, but she absorbs it, growing stronger. When she reaches the deck of the warship, it is not an invasion, it is an execution. Dialogue. Grathain, drawing his pyre blade, you think you're a god, which? Eveline, smiling darkly, I think gods burn just as easily as men. Their battle is apocalyptic. Eveline is no longer merely wielding ice and shadow, she wields the pure wrath of the pyre. When she finally strikes Grathain down, she does not kill him immediately. She lets him burn, watching as the pyre consumes not just his flesh, but his very soul. As the obsidian wrath crumbles beneath the weight of frost and fire, Eveline stands upon its ruins, gazing towards the Syndicate's capital. The world's order is fragile. It is time to shatter it. Chapter 7, The Frozen Pyre. Location, the gates of Metropolis X. Eveline arrives at Metropolis X, the beating heart of the Syndicate's empire, a city of towering obsidian spires and sprawling corruption. The pyre's relics are hoarded here, locked within the Black Vault, the last place in the world capable of resisting her power. The city's rulers, desperate, terrified, send armies against her. They unleash mercenaries, warlocks, and constructs built from the bones of fallen gods. It does not matter. Eveline cuts through them like a storm, leaving behind streets choked with frost and embers. When she finally reaches the Black Vault, she hesitates. The relics within could break the pyre's hold on her, or they could make her unstoppable. Seraphina Vale, her former ally, appears at the gates, wounded but still defiant. Dialogue. Seraphina, bloodied, desperate, you're stronger than this. You were always stronger than this. Eveline, coldly, strength isn't the same as mercy. Seraphina, then tell me, what's left of you that's still Eveline? For a fleeting moment, Eveline hesitates. Then she steps into the vault, vanishing into the darkness. Epilogue, the Queen of Ash and Frost. Location, unknown. The world does not know what happened in the Black Vault. Some say Eveline destroyed it, burning the last relics of the pyre and vanishing into legend. Others whisper that she emerged, changed, a creature no longer bound by mortal constraints, neither witch nor human, but something new. The White Forest is gone. The Syndicate is fractured. The gods do not answer prayers. And somewhere, in the shadows of a world teetering on the brink of ruin, Eveline watches. Final dialogue. Eveline, whispering to the night the world wanted a monster. Now it has one. In the distance, fires burn.